So today we got to play Windmill Valley. Now this game is you're growing tulips. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell because board games are amazing and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, Randy, can you tell us a little bit more about Windmill Valley?
I can. So this is a 2024 release. It released at Gen Con. We picked it up there. It's got a Board Game Geek rating currently of 7.9 and a rank of 2706. 1 to 4 player game, 45 to 90 minutes in length. I think we were about 2 hours, a little bit over that. Age 14 and up. Designed by Danny Garcia. Art is Pedro Codeco and Zbigniew Umgelter. Published by Board and Dice Games, which is one of the three I always hit when I go there. Capstone, DeVere, and Board and Dice. And so far, I got to say, Board and Dice is winning as far as the games, but we'll get to that in a little bit. This is currently in retail now. Card House and Miniature Market both have it for $42. Cheapest is Game Nerds by 3 cents at $41.97. So any of those three would be a good place to hit. It's got multi-use cards, network route building, a rondel system, in-game bonuses, variable player powers, and kind of an engine building, I guess, if you will, because you're developing your rondel.
All right. So let's get into quality of components. You have these inlaid gears. This was really cool.
Yeah, I had to assemble it, but yeah, it's pretty neat.
These are really cool. You do have slightly inlaid boards,
yes,
player boards as well. They did not do that for the
but what's
tulips.
What's neat about the inlaid boards is they have an underside that is carved for the cards because you slide cards underneath, and the multi-use cards, if you put them at the top, they serve one purpose. If you put them at the bottom, they serve another. And they intelligently made it where it doesn't lay flush with the table, which we've seen other games that didn't do that. So this one did do it.
Yeah, so that was really, really nice. Your windmills are screen printed, and obviously the shape of the windmill. Your player tokens were a little roundus. That's the only thing I was a little sad about, visually speaking. And then you got your tulips. They are just cardboard bits that are shaped like little tulips. Let's see. Everything does have a linen finish.
Yeah, cards have a linen finish. The board doesn't, though, but it's an oversized board.
It does.
It doesn't? I didn't feel like one. But it takes up most of your table, the board, so you're probably going to need, if you're playing 4-player, if you have a table our size anyway, you're going to need an auxiliary. If you've got a standard gaming table, you should be fine. The
cards also have linen finish. So I'm actually really happy with this. I think it's very, very functional. I think they did a lot of thought in this. So for quality of components, I'm going to give this an 8.5. I think they did an excellent job with the inlaid boards. Everything worked really, really well. But there's definitely some things that they could have flushed out if they wanted to go the extra mile. But everything was solid.
Yeah, I'm going to probably give it an 8. I think that, everything is functional. It does its job, but there's nothing that's going to wow you here. And
except for these things, I do think
those are kind of cool. But again, some assembly was required. But it was an easy assemble. It wasn't bad.
Yes, I didn't hear you cursing its name.
No, we just got Tang Gardens expansion in, and I'm already cursing it, and I haven't even got it out yet because apparently there's a lot of cardboard assembly, and it's the kind where it heals. So my perfect 10 is probably not going to happen on quality because at first impression, I got the rulebook out and saw it has a hardback cover, but that's a review for another time. But it wowed me at first, but then I started seeing reviews on it.
All right, so let's so you're gonna give it 8. You're good with that?
I think an 8.
All right, so moving on to the actual theme is that you are you're growing your tulip fields, and placement matters, right? You're trying to get this certain kind of look for your farm. You're trying to get different columns, different columns, but the same in the row. So you've got to collect different tulips and get them planted.
And complete rows and columns.
Yeah, and completed rows and columns. Overall, I thought that was, it was definitely a cute theme. It's very pretty. So I kind of enjoyed it. Is there anything, I think it was good. I'm going to give it, plus you got your windmill over here to your kind of rondelle thing going on. I'm going to give this an 8 for this as well. I thought it worked very well, and I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I think it takes the farming aspect and incorporates it into the gameplay. You could have layered something maybe otherwise, but it makes sense for what you're doing in this, and it certainly makes sense with the way the board's structured. So I thought it was, and it's pretty. I mean, you get a colorful board once you start planting all your tulips on it. So yeah, I think I'll give it an 8 as well.
Okay, so moving on to the rule book. Randy, how was the rule book?
Well, there's actually 2 rule books. There's one that's the main rule book. It's 20 pages long. It has a front. Both of them have the same front cover and back cover that match. The other one's for the solo play, and it's an 8-pager, but this one's 20 pages. The first 2 pages have the component list, and it's got pictures like I like. It has the assembly of the windmill architecture, which you won't need once you've built it. It stays, it stays together. Then you have the setup of the gameplay area, and then it goes straight into playing the game. It's a very easy read, and they give you examples on everything, but it's much easier once you get it to the table and lay it out. Because I was trying to read this in my room without the game. It's much easier when you have the game set up and you can read through it, because we didn't play it right away, and I had to go back and reread some of it and skim it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that meant. But once you got it out, there was no confusion. It was an easy teach. I taught you and Caleb without having to refer back to the rule book at all. And not to mention, these cheat cards are incredibly well done. They have, one is the turn structure on one side and the actions are on the other. The only thing I will say is there's a lot of iconography. We did have to refer to the appendix, which is from page 13 on in the rule book is the appendix, but it has every card, every tile listed. So you can get exactly what it does. So, but yeah, some of the iconography is cryptic. Some of it you could interpret, but a lot of it you had to go back and refer to it. Once you've played it a few times, you're probably going to know it as long as you play back to back or close to the same time frame. If you set it on your shelf for a year, you'll probably forget it. So I'll probably give the rule book an 8.5. I think the iconography is the only piece that was problematic.
Okay, all right. So moving on to gameplay. So you have your rondelle, you're going to have your starting round, and it's pretty basic to start out the game, but, and everyone has their own player ability, which is over here.
And you draft them in reverse turn order, so Miranda's player 1, of course, she always is, and then player 2, so I get to pick first, so I'll take the windmill, gives you a victory point and a coin. When you tuck it in, there's a spot specifically for your starter card, and once it's there, it can't be replaced.
So I'm actually going to take the upgrade, gets me a tulip, which is what I actually had in the game. So then I can...
This other card gets flipped, and it's the in-game bonus that everybody can qualify for.
Okay, so that's having 6 tools. Okay, cool. All right, so I didn't even notice that we had one last game.
Yeah, we ended up giving you the points for it because you qualified for it, but I got there first.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't change the outcome any.
Yeah. All right. So with this, there is you can choose to go one step, one turn. So you're going from red to red. And then you're going to end up, now you can choose to go more, but by doing so, you do have to pay the cost.
Yeah, you're opening the floodgate, so you have to pay coins to go up, and everybody starts with, Miranda started as first player with 4, it's marked clearly on your board, and player 2 gets 5, but if you raise the cost, you pay the 1 and 2 coin, you do get victory points for it, but it determines the speed at which you can go. It also increases the floodplain.
Right, and in this case, though, I'm choosing not to do that, so I'm going to go to the first one because it is an upgrade action, and wonderfully, I get that with I get already a special ability with it, so I'm going to do that action. Now, the thing is I can choose. I can either go from this wheel or do this wheel, which the other wheel is how you get money. We did not realize this at the beginning.
I realized it. You guys didn't realize it. But nobody really took advantage of
I did.
Moving the market up.
Well, we're not moving it up, but taking advantage of making sure to get the 2 coins because it does an endless cycle at the bottom. So no matter what, you can at least get 2 coins.
It was floodplain, I meant.
Sorry. Yeah, but so you always get 2 money at the least for using that action, and that helped me significantly in a couple of areas where I was really tight on cash. So, all right, so I'm going to do the upgrade. So I get to choose up here in the upgrade. Now, there are 2 that are free that I have the choice of, or I can choose to get a uncommon, which costs me a coin, or a steal, which costs me 2 coins. I'm actually going to pick up the uncommon one, so I'm going to spend a coin, and I'm going to take that one. And this gives me 2 coins, plus the other action on the other side of the rondel. So this is actually very helpful, and I know this because of this right here. So I'm actually going to end up placing this here because I know it's going to be triggered next round, and that should benefit me. All right, so that would be my turn. And so you're going to continue this. We're each going to go back and forth and continue to play. And then every time that you reach the end spindle, you're going to advance on the time clock. And whoever's first gets the first time bonus. Whoever gets the second gets the second time bonus. If there is one available to you, everyone gets the one bonus that everyone gets. And then the game ends when when the first person reaches across the line, everyone gets 1 return, even the person who ends the game. And that's the game.
Well, you got various actions as well. So the action here lets you they have one with a contract or a helper. You can take one of the cards and you can tuck it at the top, and it will be an ongoing helper effect whenever it triggers based on the icon on it. Or you can tuck it underneath, and if you meet the conditions at the end of the game, you'll get victory points for that.
Yeah, one of the other things that you can do is actually take the market action. So typically you'll have to pay money for the market action. And so the one on the generic board is 2 market actions for 2 money. So I am this dark blue. So I'm going to move this. So this is my first market action. Because there are 3 tokens on the board, I get to do that action 3 times. So in this case, I don't have anything to plant, which is I have the dark indigo to plant. If I had them, I don't have that. So instead, I'm going to take a white and 2 red.
And they would go into your storage, and you got 5 free ones, and then you have to pay for additional storage.
Correct, to a max of 2. All right, then I would move to get my second one. And I would take the action there, but this time I only get 2 because there's only 2 that are there. If a place is full, you're going to have to skip that action and go to that next one to get those actions.
But if you are using 2 or 3 player, you have these brown tokens that take up occupied spaces. If you pay a coin, you can move one to a spot you're going to land on, so you can redistribute them how you like. I really liked how the market worked in this.
Yes, the market was actually well done. I use that to my benefit multiple times. The other thing you obviously can do is actually plant. So once they're in your storage area, you can then plant them. Again, row and column matters. So you have to plan accordingly. Do you have to start from left to right? I just assumed
you have to choose a column or a row, and you can go left or right. So you don't have to go top bottom.
No,
but you can go left or right. You have to go left or right.
Correct.
You do get penalized if you have a column that you complete that has 2 different colors in it. Or 2 of the same color, I should say.
Yeah.
And you want all different.
Yeah.
And then there's the windmill action. The windmill action lets you open up scoring for different colors, so every one you've planted is worth value from 1 to 3, but it takes more windmill placements to clear out an area. So if I were planting the indigo, I would take one of my windmills here. When I take the windmill action, I can place next to the market for free, but then I have to, this is where the route building comes in. You have to connect to other windmills. The good news is you pay more coin, but you get more perks by going further away. And then you can use anybody's windmills to build off of, but they get victory points for using their windmills.
Yeah. So just kind of keep that in mind. So overall, there was one other thing. Oh, the shipping.
Yeah,
so
the
you
shipping.
can go to shipping. So if I decided to ship, I could take a petal that I had in my storage, and I could place it at one of these 4 locations and get the 2 things that are on it. So in this case, I'm going to change my white because I didn't really want to do white, I may choose to pick up 2 different petals and then do an upgrade action, which would then get me a free tulip by doing that upgrade action.
And they have to be different colors, so it's very much like Puerto Rico if you've done the market action there where you trade and you place it into storage. And once it's got 4 in there, somebody can take the action to take all 4 of those
Yeah, they
and
have
put them
to.
into their stash.
Yeah.
Or you can take it before that. You don't have to wait until it's filled, but you can.
Okay. And then that card gets flipped over and a new card comes up, so that may alter some plans. So I think that is everything. Overall, I actually really like this game.
Yeah.
So Andrew did too. He was like, this is actually a good game. Like, I was pleasantly surprised.
Because lately he's been very picky about games he'll play, especially Euros.
Yeah, but this one, he was like, this is actually a good game. And I think it's because it was easy to learn, but yet there was still a lot of complexity to thought, and a lot of strategy involved, and we both all agreed that we want to play this sooner rather than later. I'm hoping to play it again tomorrow. And I really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to give this a 8.5. I loved it. It was fun.
So I liked the multi ways to score in this. That's what I like the best about it. You've got lots of good opportunities to score. I mean, you went full on planting all of your plants.
Well, and I did the bottom. I did the cards.
I focused on getting points, clearing out my windmills, and getting the highest scoring cards as I could. My problem was I didn't take that one off the board when I had the chance, because I had taken the action. And I'm like, well, I don't need any of these, so I just left it. I should have taken it and put it up here. You wouldn't have got the points, and I would have won. So it was that close that I could have stopped you. So, but
You know what I hear? You know what I hear?
Yeah,
I hear the smallest violin.
Now, the one thing I didn't like about it is it didn't feel like there was enough impetus to change the water level, which seems like that should be core to the game. So, we all pretty much stayed on 1 the entire game, and everybody took their 1s. Early on, I jumped ahead because my first action wasn't really
victory points.
useful.
I mean, you can do it by getting victory points if that action doesn't behoove you. But the thing is I found value in each of the actions, so I didn't need to skip. And honestly, when I didn't find value in an action, I needed the 2 money on the other side.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to skip that ring because I needed the money. And I think there might be a strategy of playing this out. I just think with the first game, we didn't do that.
We didn't. I mean, I gained the one nice thing about me doing that was I got to be the first to go to the next calendar pretty much the entire game until the very last round where you rushed ahead and took
because my tulip field was full.
Yeah.
I had maxed out and this is something I do appreciate. You can complete your fields, okay? Like, for me, that matters. But no, I completely filled up my fields. I got all my cards. My thing was fully upgraded. Like, there was no reason for me to pussyfoot around. Like, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go,
Yeah.
But that's because I had a lot of abilities around upgrading, and so that really helped me upgrade. Like, I got a lot of cool stuff when I upgraded, so that worked out very nicely. So I like the fact that there's a lot of combinations that you can do. Like, it is a little bit of engine building, which I think all of us really enjoy. So that's why.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to give it an 8. I don't think I'm quite an 8.5 until I see more use of that, because it is one of the core mechanics of the game, and it feels like it's underutilized. Now, it could be just the play style that we had, playing through it, but honestly, it feels like that should be more valuable in the game. And maybe if we had 4 players, then maybe it would be 2. That's another thing. We only played 3-player. It's a great game still. Either way, we all had a good time playing it, and we all want to play it again. So
absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast. Hopefully, you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.